everybody, my name is Elderson, and today I present to you my reason why the Glaive in Minecraft Dungeons is probably the best weapon in the game. Now, truth be told, I don't have every single weapon in the game, and I forgot what button is the... There you go. Yeah, so I do have quite a collection of uniques, as you can see. I'm going to be focusing on melee weapons, not ranged weapons. For that will be a different video in the future. But for this video, I will be discussing why the Glaive is probably the best melee weapon in the game. The first reason is that it probably has the best range. As you can see, I can stand way back here and still hit this dummy. And the effect of the sweep, the final sweep, after the 1, 2, 3, is very damaging, and it's like a semicircle around you. It gets quite a bit of enemies. The main drawback of the Glaive is the time it takes to swing, but this can be countered by the Death Cat Mushroom, like this, see? And if you look at the amount of damage I'm doing 5,000, 5,000, 7,000. This is mainly because of the enchantments I got, which is, let's see, it's a power level 113, very high. I have Committed, Weakening, and Leeching, which is a very good combination. I would probably swap out Weakening for something like, I don't know, Sharpness would be a better enchantment for me, I think. But, yeah, it's a very good Glaive. It does a lot of damage. Now, compared to other weapons, it does a lot of damage, like against the pickaxe, even though this is a lower power level. It still does quite a bit of damage. Let's equip this right quick. Let's equip this, and I just accidentally rolled, but you do have to be a little bit closer, like, you can't, well, wow, that's actually quite a bit of range for a weapon, but like back here, the Glaive would be able to attack, whereas with the pickaxe, you gotta get a little closer. It is a bit faster, but it doesn't do anywhere near the amount of damage. Now, as for the Diamond Sword, which is just a regular sword, you do have to be quite close to the enemy. You have about this close. It is a bit fast, but it doesn't have anywhere near the area of the Glaive. And the Katana, I would say the Katana is one of the worst weapons, just because of the amount of time it takes to swing. It doesn't even, it's like, the area is just not that good. It's not as good as the Hawk brand, for example. Which, yeah, you do have to be a little bit closer, but it does attack nice and fast, and its thrust goes out quite a bit. Also, it comes with a unique enchantment, and makes critical hit chances higher, so you can do that. Also, we're delving into these types of weapons, the ones where you have to get close, but you can do this, right? If you eat the Death Cat Mushroom, you can attack really fast like that. This stacks up lots of damage, but the main drawback is you have to be really close, whereas with the Glaive, you don't have to. Now with the hammer, you could be a little bit farther back, especially with this hammer, because of the gravity effect. But look at the amount of time it takes to swing this thing. And the area it's good, but it's not as good as the Glaive. Now, probably the final weapon, except for spears. There's a whole other load of weapons. This is one of the worst weapons, in my opinion, in the game. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and its attack speed is quite slow. But, this. Not that one. Yeah, that's also a pretty poor weapon. These soul knives, it just does that. A decent amount of damage. A little bit better than the Glaive, but it's not... Its area of effect, it's got a good range, like reach, but, like... It's just a very slow weapon and doesn't have very good reach. I don't like to use those. Where is it? The Claymore, the Heart Stealer, yeah. This thing is very, very beefy. Definitely the hardest hitting item in the game. As you can see, it's doing quite a bit of damage, and this is a 104 power level, so it's considerably lower than my Glaive, and doesn't have enchantments on it. But the problem with it, even though it hits the hardest in the game, except for maybe the Katana, it's very slow, kind of like the Katana, although it does have more range than the Katana. Now, probably the final weapon I want to talk about, except for the bindings, the fighter's bindings, is the Whirlwind. This is nice to have, especially with the Death Cat Mushroom, because you can do this. this is one of the best weapons in the game, but the drawback of it is that you have to really be focused on the enemy. Like, it's not like the Glaive, because the Glaive, the best thing about the Glaive is its range. My philosophy in Minecraft Dungeons, for the most part, except for maybe against skeletons, is if you can stay back from the enemy, then they can't kill you. Enemies like creepers, zombies, the husks, those skeletons with the glaives themselves, you know, not the skeletons with bows. Most of the pillagers, they have to get close to you, so having a glaive like this, where you can stay back and kill loads of mobs, crowds of them, quickly, is very nice to have, and probably the best weapon in the game, unless if you have a really high power level fighter's bindings. I use these though, and yeah, they're nice to have. I do have Radiance and Gravity on them, and Swirling, I think. But combined with this, it is really good. It is definitely a boss killer, but for a crowd, it's not the best, although it does heal you. But the problem with these is you have to get close, and you will get hit quite often, especially if you're in a crowd. Whereas with the Glaive, you don't really get hit very often. Where's my Glaive? Here it is. Yeah, I prefer the Glaive. Early on in the game, I chose the Glaive just because of the damage it did, and then I realized the range is even better because it's so long and powerful. The only problem is the speed, but it's like, that's not a problem when you have this much range. And especially if you have a bow like that. You know, you have a bow, so you've got... I use the exploding crossbow. I'll be talking about this in a different video in the future, maybe. But, yeah, I use the Glaive just because of the amount of area it has. Its area of effect is nuts. And that's why I think it's the best weapon in the game. Let me know down in the comments below what's your favorite weapon to use and why you think it's the best. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And this is Alderson signing out. Have a nice day.